You know that feeling when you walk into your kitchen, you look up at your cabinets, and you think, when did this happen? It's not like the grease appeared overnight. It built up slowly, quietly, day after day. Every time you fried an egg, every time you made bacon on a Sunday morning, every time you sautéed onions for dinner. And one day you look up and there it is, this thick, sticky, yellowish brown layer of grease just sitting there on your cabinet doors, on the sides, on the edges, almost like it's glued on permanently. And you've tried to clean it. Of course you have. You grabbed a sponge and some dish soap and you scrubbed. And maybe it came off a little bit, but your arm got tired, your back started aching, and you still couldn't get into the corners, couldn't get the sticky film completely off. You wiped it, and it still felt tacky to the touch, still looked dull and dirty. Maybe you went to the store and bought one of those heavy-duty degreasers in the orange bottle. You sprayed it on, waited, wiped, and sure, it helped a little, but the smell was so strong it burned your eyes and made you cough. And even then, there were still spots you couldn't quite get clean. Or maybe you just gave up. Maybe you told yourself, well, these cabinets are old, they're just stained now. That's how it is. And every time company comes over, you notice yourself glancing at those cabinets and hoping nobody looks too closely. Here's what I want you to know right now, before we go any further. That grease is not permanent. Those cabinets are not ruined, and you do not need to scrub until your arms give out, and you do not need harsh chemicals that make your kitchen smell like a factory. What you need is the right combination. 2 or 3 simple ingredients you probably already have in your home, applied the right way. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, step by step, slowly and clearly. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to know a method so effective, so easy on your hands and your lungs, that you're going to wonder why nobody told you about this years ago. Problem explanation. Let's talk about what kitchen cabinet grease actually is, because once you understand it, the solution makes complete sense. Every time you cook on your stovetop, tiny invisible droplets of oil and fat go up into the air with the steam. You can't see them floating around, but they're there, and they settle on your walls, on your backsplash, and especially on your cabinets, because cabinets are right there, close to the stove, at the perfect height to catch everything. At first, it's just a very light, almost invisible film, but over weeks and months, layer builds on top of layer. And here's the thing about grease. It's sticky by nature, so dust sticks to it. Cooking smoke sticks to it, more grease sticks to it, and it hardens. It actually changes texture over time, from something soft and slippery to something thick and almost waxy, and in some spots, almost like a varnish that's been baked on. That's why scrubbing alone doesn't work. You're trying to use physical force against something that has essentially bonded to the surface of your cabinet. You'd have to scrub so hard and so long that you'd risk scratching the finish or stripping the paint. And for anyone dealing with any kind of joint pain or arthritis in their hands or wrists, and let's be honest, a lot of us are, that kind of scrubbing is just not realistic. It hurts, it's exhausting, and it shouldn't have to be that hard. What actually works is chemistry, not muscle. You need something that breaks the bond between the grease and the cabinet surface at a molecular level. Something that gets underneath the grease, loosens it, and lets it slide right off with barely any effort at all. And that's exactly what this method does. Here's the part most people don't know. Dish soap alone isn't strong enough for old, built-up grease. Dish soap is designed for fresh grease on dishes in warm water. Cabinet grease is a different beast entirely. It's old, it's layered, and it's dry. You need something that can cut through that, and it needs to be something safe. No fumes, nothing that'll irritate your skin, nothing you need gloves and a mask to use. The combination I'm going to show you uses ingredients that are completely safe, incredibly affordable, and already sitting in most people's kitchens or available at any grocery store for just a couple of dollars. Let's get into it. What you need. Before we start, let's gather everything. I want you to have it all ready before you begin, so you're not running back and forth. This should only take you a minute. First, you need baking soda. Just regular baking soda, the kind in the orange box. You probably already have this in your pantry or your refrigerator. If not, it costs less than $1 at any grocery store. Second, you need dish soap. Plain blue Dawn dish soap is what I recommend, and I'll tell you why in a moment. It doesn't have to be Dawn specifically, but Dawn is what most people have, and it works beautifully for this. Third, you need white vinegar. Regular distilled white vinegar, the kind you use for cooking or cleaning. Again, very inexpensive, available everywhere. Fourth, you need warm water. Not hot, not cold, warm. The warmth helps activate everything and makes the solution more effective. Fifth, you need a spray bottle. Any empty spray bottle will do. If you don't have one, they're available at the dollar store, at Walmart, at any grocery store, usually for $1 or $2. And finally, you need a soft cloth or a microfiber cloth. Not a rough scrubbing pad, not steel wool, something soft. We are not scrubbing today, we are wiping. There's a big difference, and your hands will thank you. That's it. That is everything. No specialty products, no trip to a hardware store, nothing expensive or hard to find. If I had to guess, you have at least 3 or 4 of these already sitting in your kitchen right now.
Step-by-step process. Step 1. Make your cleaning solution. Take your spray bottle and fill it about 3/4 of the way with warm water. Warm water is important here because it keeps the ingredients dissolved and active. Cold water makes the solution sluggish. Now add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Vinegar is a mild acid, and acids are very good at breaking down grease. They work at the molecular level, actually weakening the structure of the grease so it loses its grip on the surface. And vinegar is completely natural, has no harmful fumes, and is safe around food surfaces. Next, add 1 tablespoon of Dawn dish soap. Dawn specifically is formulated to cut through grease. That's actually their whole brand promise, and in this case, it's genuinely true. The soap acts as what's called a surfactant, which is a fancy word for something that helps water and oil mix together. Normally, oil and water repel each other, but the soap bridges that gap, helping the water actually grab onto the grease and carry it away. Now here's the part most people skip, and it's the secret that makes this method so much more effective than plain soap and water. Add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Baking soda is a mild abrasive, but not abrasive in a scratching way. It's soft enough to be completely safe on painted or varnished cabinet surfaces. What it does is provide just enough gentle friction to help lift the grease off the surface without you having to scrub. It also helps neutralize odors, so if your cabinets have that old cooking smell, the baking soda takes care of that too. Put the cap on your spray bottle and shake it gently. You'll see it get a little foamy. That's normal and good. That foam is the soap and baking soda working together. Now set it down for just a moment while we prepare the cabinet surface. Step 2. Prepare the cabinet surface. This step takes about 30 seconds, and most people skip it entirely, which is why their results aren't as good as they could be. Take a dry cloth and just lightly wipe down the cabinet door you're going to work on. You're not cleaning it yet, you're just removing any loose dust or crumbs sitting on top. If you spray directly onto dusty cabinets, you end up turning the dust into a muddy paste that smears around. So a quick dry wipe first saves you a lot of trouble. Pay attention to the edges and the area right around the cabinet handles or knobs. That's where grease builds up the most, because that's where hands touch the cabinet every single day, and our hands always have a little bit of natural oil on them that adds to the buildup over time. Step 3. Spray and let it sit. Now, the most satisfying part begins. Hold your spray bottle about 6 to 8 inches from the cabinet surface and spray a generous, even coat over the entire door. You want the surface visibly wet, not dripping, but well coated. Don't be shy with it. A light misting won't penetrate the grease layer. You want that solution to sit on top of the grease and start working its way in. Pay extra attention to the really dark spots, the places where the grease looks almost brown or yellowish. Spray a little extra there. And get the edges, get the frame around the door, get the area right next to the hinges. Now, here is the most important instruction in this entire video, and it's also the easiest one. Walk away. Do not touch it. Do not wipe it yet. Set a timer for 10 minutes and just let the solution sit there and do its job. This is where the chemistry happens. The vinegar is getting underneath the grease, the soap is surrounding the grease molecules, and the baking soda is gently working at the surface. In 10 minutes, that layer of grease that has been stuck to your cabinet for months, maybe years, is going to be soft, loose, and ready to come off with almost no effort at all. I know it's tempting to start wiping right away. Most of us feel like we should be doing something, but doing nothing for 10 minutes is actually doing everything. The solution is working, so you don't have to. Step 4, the wipe. Your 10 minutes are up. Now take your soft cloth, damp, not soaking wet, and start wiping. Start at the top of the cabinet door and work your way down. The reason you go top to bottom is simple. Whatever drips or loosened grease slides downward. So if you start at the bottom and then wipe the top, you're just getting the bottom dirty again. Top to bottom every time. Use slow, gentle strokes. You are not scrubbing, you are not pressing hard. You are simply moving the cloth across the surface. And what you're going to notice almost immediately is that the grease is coming off to your cloth. You'll see the cloth getting dark and greasy, which means it's leaving your cabinet. In the really stubborn spots, the dark, thick areas right above the stove or right around the handles, you may need to apply a little more pressure. But I want to emphasize the word little. A little more pressure, not scrubbing. The solution has already done the hard work. You're just collecting what it loosened. Rinse your cloth frequently. This is important. If your cloth gets too saturated with grease and you keep wiping with it, you're just spreading grease around instead of removing it. Rinse it under warm water, wring it out, and go back in. Repeat this as many times as needed. Step 5, the second pass. Once you've done your first wipe and most of the grease is off, take a clean, damp cloth and do one final wipe down of the entire surface. This removes any residue from the cleaning solution itself and leaves the cabinet surface clean and dry. You'll notice the cabinet feels different under your cloth now. Instead of that tacky, sticky feeling, it feels smooth, clean, like a surface, not like a layer of something you'd rather not think about. Dry it with a clean, dry cloth or just let it air dry for a few minutes. Either works.
Final results. Let me tell you what you're going to see when you step back and look at your cabinet. The color will look brighter. Cabinets that have been coated in grease take on a yellowish, dingy cast over time. When that layer comes off, the actual color of your cabinet, whether it's white, cream, wood-toned, whatever it is, comes back. It looks lighter. It looks cleaner. It looks like it did when it was newer. The surface will look more reflective. Grease is matte and dull. A clean cabinet surface has a slight sheen to it, especially in the light. You'll notice light catching your cabinet doors differently than it did before. And most importantly, it will feel clean. Run your hand across it. No tackiness, no stickiness, no residue. Just smooth, clean cabinet. If you have multiple cabinets to do, and most of us do, take them one at a time. Spray, wait 10 minutes, wipe. Spray, wait 10 minutes, wipe. Work your way around the kitchen systematically. It takes a bit of time, but none of it is hard work. Most of the time, you're simply waiting. A full kitchen's worth of cabinets done this way should take you maybe an hour to an hour and a half, and you'll be able to rest between cabinets while the solution sits. This is genuinely a cleaning method designed for people who want real results without physical strain. Maintenance tips. Now that your cabinets are clean, let's talk about how to keep them that way, because the worst thing would be to do all this work and then let the grease build back up to the same level. The single most important thing you can do is use your stove's exhaust fan every single time you cook. Every single time, even if you're just boiling water, even if you're just making toast. The fan pulls those grease particles up and out before they settle on your cabinets. This one habit alone can extend the time between deep cleanings significantly. The second thing is to do a quick light wipe of your cabinet doors once a week, or at minimum twice a month. You don't need the full solution for this. Just a damp cloth with a tiny drop of dish soap, a quick wipe of the doors closest to the stove, and you're done. It takes 3 minutes. When grease is fresh, it wipes off with almost no effort. The problem only happens when it's allowed to build up and harden over months.
Third, pay special attention to the cabinets directly above and on either side of your stove. These are the highest grease areas because they're closest to where cooking happens. Give these extra attention during your quick weekly wipes. And finally, if you ever notice a spot starting to look a little dull or slightly tacky when you touch it, don't wait. Spray a little of your solution on that spot right then, wait 5 minutes, wipe it off. Catching it early means it never gets to that thick, hardened stage again. One more thing worth mentioning. If you have wood cabinets, this solution is safe for most finished wood surfaces. However, if your cabinets have a very old finish or are unfinished wood, test a small hidden spot first, just to be safe. For painted cabinets, laminate cabinets, and most modern wood cabinets, you have nothing to worry about. So let's talk about where you are now versus where you started. You started this video with cabinets that had grease you thought might be permanent, grease that had resisted scrubbing, resisted store-bought cleaners, resisted your best efforts. And now you have a simple, affordable $2 solution made from things in your own kitchen, a 10-minute wait time, and a soft cloth, and those cabinets are clean in a way they haven't been in a long time. No harsh chemicals, no fumes that make your eyes water, no scrubbing until your hands ache, just smart chemistry doing the work for you, which is honestly the way cleaning should work. I want you to try this today, not next week, not when you get around to it, today. Pick the worst cabinet in your kitchen, the one you've been avoiding, the one right above the stove that you always look at and look away from. Spray it, set your timer for 10 minutes, do something else, come back and wipe. I think what you're going to see is going to genuinely surprise you. And when it does, I want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and tell me which cabinet you tackled first, or tell me how many years of grease you finally got off. I read every single comment, and there is nothing I love more than hearing that something I shared actually worked for someone in their home. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people find this and get the same results you just did. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because next time, we're going after something that might be even worse than cabinet grease, and that is the inside of your oven. The burnt-on, baked-on, black, crusty buildup that makes you want to close the oven door and pretend it's not there. I've got a method that works just as well as this one, uses the same simple ingredients, and requires zero scrubbing. You are not going to want to miss that one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.